What does it mean for Canadians?
So far, nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Not yet. But
Hopefully we don't follow suit. It's interesting though, because like we talked recently on a stream about similar Canadian legislation addressing Chinese or foreign investment in tech companies in Canada. So you can see globally that there is a trend right now of North American governments becoming more protective of what technology is coming into the country, and then even what technology is being exported. When you remember the bans on graphics processors being sold into China that was announced a few months ago as well.
Yep. So like we use DJI drones.
Yeah.
DJI drones. We've never flown them in the States. We don't do a lot of drone work in the States. It's all in Canada. It's a massive industry. Real estate market uses them all the time. There's like a whole drone show. This is a big industry. There's a lot of people that use drone, the ability to capture photography and videography without the need of a helicopter or an aerial rig
or a crane. It's a revolutionary tool.
Oh, it's incredible. And I will say, the drones that we have, they're fantastic to fly. The software is great. The quality isn't fantastic. Yeah, they still cost thousands of dollars, but it's a lot less than renting a crane and the permitting that's required for a crane. So we don't fully know what FTC authorizations you need to fly a drone in the States. We've never had work there, so like I don't know where that all pertains. But for Canada, it's pretty much get a license, go buy a drone.
Yeah.
It's pretty, and then there's rules like you can't fly over people
and like permits for like shooting specific times.
Yeah, you're not flying in places that you shouldn't be flying a drone in. Okay, great. But
it's
like
pretty common sense stuff.
Yeah, it's super common sense stuff.
It's worth noting, this isn't a drone ban.
No.
This is a CCP
countering CCP, and everyone CCP.
This is Chinese Communist Party.
Yep. So like they are worried about the footage and data collected by the technology
potentially
making its way back to China.
Yeah.
Which now we're just speculating on. It could happen.
Well, so it's one of our discussion questions is there a precedent for Chinese technology being employed for espionage?
Of course.
And the answer is absolutely yes, there is. There was that big scandal a few years back with parts being used. Oh, so there was a Huawei one, and this might be tied to the same thing. I think it was in the cell phone towers.
Yeah, Huawei.
Huawei. There was technology that was capturing information that it wasn't supposed to capture.
And then sending it back to China. And there's like 50 others.
Yep.
So
and there was that issue with like the one Huawei executive being held by the Canadian government for espionage, and then China held
TikTok
two of our tourists for espionage, and then it came out later that those might have actually been spies. That's kind of up in the air still.
Yeah. So yeah, the precedent is 100%. This is like the first thing.
Yeah.
Again, we don't have a crystal ball. This is probably not the last thing.
This is a real thing to be concerned about.
Yes, it is.
We're not going to get into the merit of the law at this stage. What does this mean for video producers that use drones? Right now, we're okay because it's not affecting Canadians, so we're fine, and it's not limiting all drones. The problem with that is it's kind of hard to find.
I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you the number two.
Neither could I. And I mean that makes sense because they have 70% of the market share.
Yeah.
That's a huge amount. Yeah. Like that's more than Windows. Windows doesn't have 70% of the desktop market share.
Google's got a thing more than that. But yeah, it's huge. 70% of anything is massive.
I don't think Google has 70%. I'm talking. So you mean for others
for search.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyways, monopolies are there. But 70% is massive. I'd have to make a Google on who. If we were to buy another drone, with the current things, I would still be looking at DJI because. The drones are good.
I wouldn't buy a DJI drone right now.
No, I'd have to do some research.
What research can you do? Knowing that this legislation...
I don't even know if there is a comparable product on the market.
Even if there's not, even if there's nothing else on the market, why would you buy a product that's being legislated
that could be... So, like, what does this mean for drone producers? You're going to have to look at you're going to potentially have to move away from the fleet you've currently got. And I mean, most drone producers, you don't have 80 drones.
I would hope
you've probably got a couple.
I would hope that this means more drone companies crop up locally. We've got some amazing drone manufacturers in Canada. Arion Labs develops one of the best drones in the world.
Oh yeah.
It's like you can see it in the museum and in Ottawa, whichever like the big science center that's down there. They've got one on display, and that's a Canadian-made product. That's like super durable. It passes all the military standards, but it's
a military.
It's a military drone.
It's a military drone.
It's not on the consumer level.
It doesn't
right?
have a 4K camera. Well, I'm sure it does, but it's not meant for shooting real estate content.
Well, like they do very similar things to the ones that are consumer grade, but they're built to a higher standard and they're not accessible to the public.
Yeah.
Right. So like I'd love to see. We have the capabilities in Canada to build these kind of tools. I'd love to see someone roll that out at the consumer level.
So there might be some new innovation happening in Canada. There might be some new startup pop up with it. It's that'll be cool. But yeah, definitely, that is a perfect example of why you need to keep an eye on. If we were to go look at a SWOT analysis again, this falls under the threat category. The government is coming in, proposing new rules, and your operation could be affected, and there's nothing you can do about it. That is something to keep an eye on.